Welcome back, guys. What you see here in front of you is a brand new, fresh install of Point Linux. Now, Point Linux is a Debian Stable distribution. It's one of the best that I've ever used. It is absolutely rock solid. It's based upon the stable version of Debian. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to convert your Debian install from stable to testing. So if you want to uh, download a Debian distribution and it's a stable Debian distribution, but you like it, but you'd like to convert it to testing, there is a way to do that, and we're going to go through that process. Now, as I said, Point Linux is one of the most stable. Debian distributions historically are very stable, but sometimes you want a little bit later software. You want access to later versions of drivers and things like that. And so if you convert to testing, then you will get a little bit more cutting edge software, later versions of drivers like Nvidia. Now, one thing that makes Point Linux stand out, in my opinion, as far as Debian distributions go, is that it recognized my Broadcom Wi-Fi right out of the box and installed the drivers for it. So when you do the install, it asks you if you want non-free software, and I checked yes, and so that enabled it to pull in the Broadcom drivers, and I am good to go. That doesn't happen usually. Usually I have to go and install Broadcom drivers. Now, I do not believe that any of my Nvidia drivers were installed. And let's see, I don't see any indication of that. So, we'll do that after we convert from stable to testing. Now, if you plan on doing this, you want to do it before you run apt-get update. I did not run apt-get update yet. The only thing I did was install guvcview and Kazam. That's all I've done. And so what the first thing we're going to do is pull open our Synaptic package manager. Now, in the case of Point Linux, Synaptic will show you the current repositories. Now, it's showing that we have a Point Linux repo, which is stable, and then we have the Jesse Debian repos. What we're going to do to start this process is we don't want to mix stable and testing. So we are going to disable the Point Linux repo. Then we're going to change everywhere we see Jesse, we're going to write stretch. So everywhere we see Jesse, we will type in stretch. The other thing you want to make sure of is that you have main, contrib, and non-free enabled. So we click OK and then we reload. Now, reloading isn't ordinarily going to do anything. It'll just finish the reload because the only thing it's doing is it's pulling in the capability to download software from the testing repo versus the stable repo. Now, if you're going to install Debian Multimedia, now might be a good time to do that. And so I'm going to close out Synaptic and let's do Debian Multimedia. The first thing I'm going to do is open up a browser, and I'm going to search Deb Multimedia. And this should be it right here, and that is not the site that I'm looking for. So let's search using Google, and we'll try this, and that is the site that I'm looking for. Now the first thing that you want to do is you're going to see over here that there is a note. Not only, see, you can add the repo to your sources using Synaptic. However, the first thing you want to do is get this key ring. So you need the signature. You need the security signature. So you're going to copy wget. You see that? And we're going to open a terminal. And we're going to paste that in. Okay, and that is it. Then we are going to copy in the second line, which basically unpacks the Debian file containing the signature. And it'll ask for a password. Okay, so now we need to close our terminal, open up Synaptic, take a look at our sources again, and we're going to add the source that we need. Now, we're going to be using stretch. You see over here for stretch? This is what you want right there. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to click on new, paste it in. Now we don't need the deb because it's already designated up in the top. So we're going to take that out. Then we're going to take this out after we type it in. So we need to type stretch. And it would help if I could type. And main and non-free. Okay. Then we want to take this out all the way back to multimedia.org. So now we want to click OK and reload. Okay, now I'm going to close that out. Now remember, we talked about in a prior video, we talked about using netselect apt to find the best repo for our distribution. So I am going to install it. I'm going to install netselect apt, and then we're going to do a search on to find the fastest testing repo for our particular situation. Now it's going to go through the update here, and it should not take too long. It's got maybe 30 seconds left. Now once we finish this, then I'll do apt-get update with the fastest repo, and then I will go in and install my Nvidia drivers. So it's just about done downloading, and it's extracting. It's actually updating, and we should be good to go. Hopefully we don't get any broken packages messages. and it's actually updating the distribution. Now what's happening is when you go into the Point Linux website, you have a choice of the minimal install versus the full install. I went with the full install because the full install gives you the drivers, non-free drivers, and some codecs that the minimal install does not bring into play during the installation. Okay, so it looks like we're done. I am going to run net select apt, and I'm having trouble typing today. And I'm going to do it for testing. So it's going to go through and find the top 10 fastest mirrors or Debian repository locations for my particular situation. And so let's see what it comes up with. Now it's going through 391 addresses, and it's going to spit out the top 10. And then I will show you how to translate that to your list, to your sources list. Now you see where it's showing that Cogentco is the fastest. So let's leave that open and open up Synaptic one more time. Okay. So now, as you can see, right now we have the Debian.net stretch repo as our main repo. We've got security, and we've got updates, and we've got Deb Multimedia. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy Cogentco, and then we're going to type in new. Okay, we've got Deb, so now we've got HTTP, we've got the address, and what we're going to do now is we're going to leave that just the way it is. We're going to type stretch in the distribution, and we're going to put main, contrib, and non-free. So we're switching from the main Debian distribution to the Cogentco. So we're going to uncheck the main, and we're going to add in and reload. Now that should update the system much faster. So let's try a sudo apt get update and make sure that everything pulls in. And that, as you can see, that was very fast. Now I could do the upgrade, but I'm not going to do that. Let's go ahead and install our Nvidia. Now for Debian testing, there is a program called Nvidia Driver, and that's what you'll install first. So you'll go through, and as you can see, it's pulling in from Cogentco, the testing repo at Cogentco, and you can see how fast it is. It's doing its thing. It's installing everything that it needs for NVIDIA. Now, it's telling me that in order to switch over from the Nouveau to the Nvidia, I would need to reboot. So I'm going to say OK, and that should finish up fairly quickly. And then we're going to have to do one more thing in order to get the Nvidia menu to appear. Now, prior to, going back maybe 6 months or a year ago, you would have to install the driver and then do a sudo NVIDIA X config. But that step has been eliminated now. And so all we need to do is install NVIDIA settings. So once we install NVIDIA settings, and you can see how quick it's pulling everything in from the Cogentco repository. So that's done. So now I'm going to reboot, guys, and I'll be right back with you, and we'll take a look to see, make sure we have our NVIDIA. So be right back. Okay, guys, I am back. I just rebooted. Now, if you take a look at my Wi-Fi, you can see that I am running from my Broadcom. And the only thing I haven't checked yet is my NVIDIA. And as you can see, NVIDIA now appears. And there's my settings. There's my driver 35279. So now I am converted from Debian Stable to Debian Testing. And from now on, all updates will pull from the testing repositories. So now, Point Linux, which is an unbelievably terrific Debian distribution, I really like it. And I highly recommend it if you're going to give Debian a go for the first time. Point Linux would be my suggestion for you. And as I said, it's really easy to convert from stable to testing. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot that is installed out of the box. But you can, it's typical Debian, you can build on that. I installed GU, VCView, and Kazam. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. It's amazingly easy with Point Linux to do your conversion from stable to testing. And I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you soon. Take care.